So, my little boy's Mimi just passed away. My son's father's mother just passed away. At this time, she was not my mother-in-law, but to keep it simple and explain it, my mother-in-law passed away. The day she passed away, we were all outside. I was going to find the father of my son. I went through the bedrooms. I went to the bedroom that he had been staying in. He was not in there. Went to the next bedroom, and he was hiding something underneath the bed. At that time, I knew we had a big problem. He had just taken the drugs that his mom had from hospice and taken them for himself. And I don't know what feeling or emotion that created inside of me, but anger, sadness, grief, it all came out at once. The entire family was there. They had just lost their mother, their spouse, their friend. And I was angry because how could someone do this? I left. That's when I realized that I really had to make a decision. Is it worth it? Is a life of loving an addict worth the emotions, the turmoil, the roller coaster? I did my very best to try to put boundaries up, to protect me. I wanted my son to still see his father, but as long as he was actively using, he was not in a place where I felt my son should see him. So I put up boundaries, I put up walls. And it was during this time that I believe God saw fit to bring someone into my life. If you remember, when I first met my son's father, he asked me if I wanted kids, and I told him I did. I wanted one. But over the course of the next 4, 5, 6 years, I wanted a daughter. I even had a name for her. And God gave me that. It was not through natural birth. It was not through adopted birth, but it was through an exchange program. I got a 15-year-old Mexican girl. And she was exactly what I needed, what my son needed, and I felt like at that time we were a family, and we are a family to this day. But having her kept me from going back to my son's father, knowing that I did not need to, because he was not in a place where he needed to be a part of our lives. We would still do holidays, birthdays, whatever I felt was safe, and didn't compromise anything with my son. But having her kept me from going back. And it was during that time my son's father was arrested again. And that's when I knew God had placed her in my life at just the right time, because she became our glue. We felt like a family. We were no longer just mom and son, but now we were mom and her 2 kids. And my son gained an entire Mexican family. They adore him. We go visit them in Mexico. She still comes to visit us, and she's my Mexican daughter. She calls me mom. And I believe that God did that because he knew my heart needed to heal, my mind, that I needed to grow, that I needed to see that I could do this without him. During that time, I did try to move on with another relationship. At this time, there were no vows. We had not said I do. And I tried to move on, but my heart belonged to my son's father, and I knew that even though he was in jail, no one was going to compare to him, because my heart belonged to him, and everyone knew it. I didn't keep it a secret from my son's father. It's not like I was doing these things behind his back. He was very aware. I tried, and my heart wouldn't let me. So my little boy's Mimi's passed away. We get a daughter. My son's father goes to jail. I try to move on. Here we are again. My daughter leaves, my son's father's in jail, and I had ended the relationship that I thought might be a different path that God was taking me on, only to realize that it was not. So here I am again, single mom, raising her little boy while his father's in jail. And there's more to that story.